You may be aware that there are many methods that can be used to eliminate debt. In another video, I talked about using what's called the avalanche method, but this time around, we're going to talk about something called the snowball method. And I'll just say right now, there are many methods that can be used. And the one that works best is the one that you have prayed about and the one that you implement and continue to implement until you see positive results. Let me remind you that I am not a financial advisor or a financial expert. I am someone who has employed these principles, these methods, prayed about it, and by the grace of God, I have remained debt-free for the last 15 years. So let's talk about the snowball method. What do you do if you want to use the snowball method? Well, this is a method that's been popularized by financial guru Dave Ramsey. And essentially what you do is you take all of your bills, all of them, even the ones like the furniture bill that you don't have to pay any interest on for 24 months, even that one, and you consider all of the bills that you have. Now, when you list your bills, this time around, what you want to do is you want to list them based on the outstanding balance. You also want to be aware of what is the minimum payment requirement. Now, the minimum payment requirement is the amount that you have to pay in order to avoid late fees. These are also the minimum payments that you have to make in order to stay current on your account, and therefore it won't hurt your credit score, or better yet, it will protect your overall credit score. So you want to take the time to list all of these things, and after you've listed all these things, you want to start implementing your plan. And the first thing you want to do is you want to identify the smallest outstanding balance that you have. Because under this methodology, that's the debt that you are going to attack first. You're going to attack it first, even if it doesn't have the highest interest rate. Because under this methodology, you're going after the smallest balance first. And what you want to do is to put all of your focus and all of your attention on eliminating this small debt. Well, at least small relative to everything else that you might owe. Now, the next thing, after you've identified the smallest debt, you want to look at all of your other debts. And you want to determine what's the minimum amount that you have to pay on these debts. Once you've done that, consider how much you are actually paying on those other debts. Because what you're going to do now may sound a little bit radical, but it does work for many people. What you are going to do is you're going to pay the absolute minimum that you can on every debt that you have, except that smallest debt. All of the excess that you have, any overtime that you may make, any additional sales, even a tax return, you're going to put that on the smallest debt. And you're going to continue to do that over and over until you completely pay off that smallest debt. Now, once you get the smallest debt paid off, the next step is you move to the next smallest debt, and you keep repeating that and repeating that until everything is completely paid off. If that sounds a little confusing for you, let me give you an example that I think might help. So in our example, this individual has a medical bill, and that medical bill is $1,100. Now, the minimum payment, they've worked out something with the hospital so that the minimum payment is $25. But this person is ambitious and they really want to pay this thing off. So they've been paying $75 a month. They also have 2 credit cards. The first credit card has a balance of $3,200. The minimum payment is $15 a month, again, to avoid extra penalties and late fees. But as this person really wants to get out of debt as quickly as possible, they've been paying $120 a month. Finally, the second credit card also has an outstanding balance, and this is for $4,000. They only have to pay a minimum of $20, but they've been paying $150. Now, using the Snowball method, on the two credit cards, this individual is now only going to pay the minimum payments, $15 on one of the credit cards and $20 on the other. This frees up additional income that can now be applied to the smallest balance, which is in this case the medical bill. And so the person will continue to pay the original $75, but they're going to add all of the excess from the other two credit cards, $130 plus another $105, for a total of $310 per month. So instead of paying $75 a month on that medical bill, they are paying $310 a month. It's pretty easy to see that that small bill is going to be paid off a lot quicker than it would have been if the person had continued to just pay $75 a month. What's the advantage of this? Well, obviously, the person is going to pay off at least one of the small debts fairly quickly. Not only that, but it's very motivating, very satisfying when you start to see at least something going down, at least some debt trending towards zero. It's a sense of freedom. It begins to motivate you. And psychologically, for most people, it's just a really good feeling. It keeps you going. It's like you're on a diet and you step on the scale and you're down 5 pounds. It's just a very good feeling. It makes you want to keep going. But there is a disadvantage. And that disadvantage is that on the remaining outstanding debt, there may be much higher interest rates. And that means that ultimately that interest is building up, and you will pay, or could be in a position where you end up paying more interest overall. However, it is a method that many people have used. I have used it, and they've used it successfully to bring down debt in a way that may be a little bit slower, may take a little more time, but with consistency, it's very motivational, very encouraging, and so people tend to stick with it longer. Like anything else, this takes time, it takes consistency. It takes submitting to God, seeking God's guidance, and seeking His strength and power in order to remain consistent. Anybody can get discouraged. Anybody can feel like giving up, but you can make it through the power of God. It means that you may have to set your pride aside, to kneel before God, to pray, and really seek His help in this process. But you can get out of debt. Hundreds and thousands of people have done it. I've done it, and so can you. I pray that this has helped you, that it's a tremendous blessing to you, and that you will sincerely pray and think about it. Don't forget to like and to subscribe to this video so that I can continue to share this kind of content with you. Don't forget to check out this video. Again, I'm going to talk about the avalanche method. God bless you.